Okay, which one of the founding fathers was referred to as not being much bigger than half a bar of soap? If you can remember that, this is where he lived. This is Montpelier in Virginia. And it's the home of James and Dolly Madison. You remember James Madison as the father of the Constitution. Well, he studied thoroughly. He wanted, first of all, to be a military man, but he found out that his health wouldn't allow him the heavy duties of a military, marching and shooting, although he's an excellent shot. And so he decided he would study how to be a nation builder. And he got tons of books, lots of books, and studied about how democracies were set up, which countries failed, which were successful, and what made them fail when they did fail. He had his friend Thomas Jefferson, who was over in France, send him 3 literary trunks of cargo, books that he could study about nation building. And he worked right up there in that room. The window above the front door was his study. And he had his books there, and he would read and study and research and draft his Virginia plan for presentation to the Constitutional Convention. And that's what he did. Eventually, he presented that plan. It became the basis for our foundation of our Constitution, which has lasted more than 200 years because of his knowledge and foresight primarily. James loved this place. He could look out from his study window and look across the valley and see the Blue Ridge Mountains, and that was the edge of the nation at that time. He once thought that maybe he would even move out across those mountains, but he never left the state of Virginia other than to go to Pennsylvania and other places where he was needed as a founding father. And so James Madison is known now as the father of the Constitution, and yet he and Dolly had no children of their own. Now, he had children because Dolly had children by a prior marriage, so he got to help raise them. And they lived here at Montpelier, except for the time that they lived in Washington, D.C. And you'll remember that James Madison was president of the nation during the Second Revolutionary War, which is now referred to as the War of 1812. And it was then that Dolly Madison rescued that beautiful Lansdowne portrait of George Washington, which hangs in the East Ballroom of the White House still today. The only object that's of a continuous existence in the White House since that time. And so we have to thank both Dolly and James Madison for their contributions to our great nation, and remember him as one of our uncommon heroes.